Okay, don't choke on the water.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Okay.
You are not a fish.
No.
You cannot breathe that shit.
That would totally boost our podcast numbers if one of us died on my
episode 36, the one where JB dies. It's also the last episode because Sean and Chris ain't editing this shit.
So how the hell does this get posted? I don't know. Because Darlene's not going to be able to do it. Okay.
We'll just put it up raw.
Yeah, I'll just do it raw. Fuck it. We'll do it raw.
Yeah, let's do it raw.
All right. Okay. Hello, and welcome to Doctor Who Gives a Fuck, a drunken Doctor Who podcast for the end times. This is JB in Chicago. I don't know why I'm sounding like a DJ here, but we're just going to go with it, okay?
All right. JB, this is Sean. Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I should act with more colorful. This is Sean in Austin, Texas. That wasn't Texas.
Hey, and this is Chris, your favorite wanker, spinning tracks, coming at you live from Springfield.
Yeah, this is a show where we get drunk and we take the Mickey out of Doctor Who.
You know what this is?
Hey, we were there first, motherfuckers. We broke the story. We
broke this story like 3 fucking years ago. What the shit, man?
Previously on Doctor Who Gives a Fuck. One of the reasons why Christopher Eccleston left the series is because John Barrowman kept whipping out his dick on set.
That is totally not what I thought you were going to say. I thought you were going to say something completely different.
And Russell T. Davis was like, him and Phil Collinson was like, he's just having fun, whatever.
What, have you heard the story, and I think it was at Chicago TARDIS, Noel Clarke told about John Barrowman banging his dick on the TARDIS console? No, this is on YouTube somewhere. This shit, Noel Clarke told this story about, I can't remember the whole story, but something like this, something kept happening. We kept hearing this fucking knocking, and we all turned around, and there was John Barrowman knocking his dick on the console. So, I mean, there's a precedent. I'm just saying, according to Noel Clarke, whatever that's worth.
So you're Christopher Eccleston. You're one of the most serious actors that's out there. He takes this craft very, very seriously, and you're going through all these mental problems, and you're going, your
dad's dying of Alzheimer's,
right? And you also have I think he also had body dysmorphic disorder or whatever, and here's fucking John Barrowman whipping his dick out on set, and
it's believable. I could see this being a thing. But who knows? It's all speculation.
When you said it was John Barrowman pushing out his dick and RTD and Phil Collinson were all sort of egging him on, that's sort of what I heard. It was some sort of gay issue. And I'm sorry, straight or gay, that's disgusting. I really wish John Barrowman did not do that, even though I may be interested in seeing John Barrowman's dick. But, buy me a few drinks first. Don't fucking whip it out at work. You don't do that. You don't get your meat where you eat your bread.
Yeah.
In the news, we have a couple of scandals. There have been 2 gentlemen, one a surprise, one not very much a surprise, that have been outed as little pervies. One, again, the not surprise, was John Barrowman, who apparently liked to take his dick out on the set. Well, who does this?
John Barrowman.
But it's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, if I did that at work, I would be fired. But
Here's the thing, though, about John Barrowman taking his dick out on set. The atmosphere of that set was very permissive.
I think he was kind of hired to be that guy.
I mean, how old was he at the time? He was probably like in his 20s, or was he in his 30s? Or
I think he's pretty roughly equivocal to me and Sean's age, isn't he? Maybe a little older.
Okay, so he must have been in his 30s when he was on Doctor Who.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
That sounds about right.
He was it, but no one pulled him aside and say, John, that's just not very appropriate there.
Fucking put it away, dude.
Put the wank out.
Yeah, they did. Julie Gardner, allegedly, from what I understand, pulled him aside, and he stopped doing it. I just don't know which is worse, pulling your dick out for your colleagues to see, or sending pictures of your dick to your colleagues to see.
Well, it depends on if they're solicited or not, for one.
By the way, he's actually older than us. He was born in 1967.
Oh, yeah. He's almost got a decade on me.
So he was like in his mid-30s then.
That's math. That's math, and I don't do math.
Well, I was 37 years old when Doctor Who.
Mid to late, yeah.
So,
mid to late.
Yeah. But still, he was very immature at the time doing that.
He's in his 50s now, and he still is.
Well, yeah, okay. Well, actually, I've got here's some breaking news here from BBC.com. This broke this afternoon. So it says John Barrowman, release of new Torchwood audio story scrapped.
Oh,
we talking big finish here?
Yes, an audio story featuring John Barrowman as Captain Jack Harkness. His character from Doctor Who and spin-off Torchwood has been pulled from release and follows allegations that in the past the actor repeatedly exposed himself while filming the TV shows.
Okay, no. Okay, that story was told in a room full of like 1,000 people, literally. One of them was me. And
well, actually, all three of them were us because we were at that. Were we all at that convention?
What year was it?
That was the Chicago TARDIS, and actually, Darlene was there as well because she said she remembers being in the room when Noel Clarke was like.
Was that 2013?
With the microphone, pretending it was John Barrowman's dick.
Okay, I thought that was Gallifrey.
No, that was Chicago.
No, it was definitely TARDIS. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Was it 2013?
Yes.
Maybe.
No. It wasn't. It was the following. No, I think it was the following year.
Okay. I'm sorry. I totally assumed it was Gallifrey, and because I thought I remembered being there, but he may have told the same story.
I don't think I was in the room, but I think I was at that convention.
No, Darlene and I were actually at that panel.
And yeah, okay, that's you know what? Canceling the Torchwood thing, the Torchwood Big Finish, that's bullshit. Who was the director? James Gunn. They kicked him off that one project because of something that he tweeted like in the year 2000 or whatever.
Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. Okay, and you know they eventually had him back.
It was Guardians, because he did Guardians and then Suicide
Guardians of the
Squad.
Galaxy.
Yeah.
It's sort of the same thing. Like, let it go, okay? That's ridiculous. I mean, I'm not condoning what he did.
No, but there's got to be some kind of statute of limitations on this shit.
If you're going to scrap this, then are you going to scrap anything else that anyone else? I mean, I think they did at least one thing with Russell T. Davies. Are they not going to do anything with Russell T. Davies anymore? Because basically he facilitated John Barrowman being there and whipping his dick out. He was just he looked the other way.
Let me ask this, okay? And this is I'm not trying to prove any point by asking this. This is seriously just I want to know. Has there been any substantiation to Noel Clarke's story? Because the way I see it, it's like, one, he might be exaggerating just for the sake of telling a funny story at a con. I don't know that there's necessarily that much truth. I mean, I'm sure there's some grain of truth to every story, but Is the story 100% accurate? Did this actually happen? Has anybody...
Here's from the story, the BBC story here. A video of Mr. Clarke at a 2015 sci-fi convention. So it was 2015. So it was 2 years after the big anniversary. Joking about Mr. Barrowman habitually exposing his genitals to resurface and went viral earlier this month. Mr. Barrowman apologized in 2008 for exposing his genitals during a live BBC Radio 1 broadcast. At the time, he said he, quote, was joining in the lighthearted and fun banter and had gone too far.
And that's why Christopher Eccleston left, probably.
Well, there was something I saw today.
I'm sick of John pulling his wanker out.
That story's out there that may actually be it.
Yeah, and actually I saw something where the scene where Captain Jack gives the doctor a kiss.
Mm-hmm.
Barrowman basically tackled Eccleston down on the floor, like as an outtake.
Oh, I would love to have seen that.
No, I don't think so. No,
I mean, not on the show, but I mean, I want to see that. I want to see like Eccleston yelling at him, "You fucking wanker, get the fuck off me!" But yeah, the statute of limitations thing. Obviously, it's not going to be a real law, but I mean, I think that was long ago, and he has since apologized. I mean, this is over 10 years ago. No, I take that back. Yeah, it is over 10 years ago.
Yeah, you're punishing him for something that's 10 years old and has been apologized for already. It's like he can't go back and make it not happen.
Right. No. And since then, he has proved himself to be as professional, I'm sure. I mean, he did a whole series at Torchwood. He was great in it. And they also had him back on Doctor Who.
And he was a presenter on some shit, too.
Yeah. And if you cancel the, and I put that in air quotes, cancel as in cancel culture. If you cancel, so I know I sound like a reporter on Fox News, but if you cancel the Torchwood audios, you're not just punishing John Barrowman. There's a whole bunch of other people in there that are now not going to get work.
Right. I mean, the writer of the story, I mean, I'm sure it was probably a fucking mediocre story, but it deserves to be, put out there.
Yeah.
And this was actually the audio. This was the audio that he reunited with David Tennant.
That really pisses me off. That's sad.
Yeah, a Big Finish spokesperson said, "We have no plans to publish this title at this time." In a new statement given to The Guardian earlier this month, Barrowman said that his high-spirited behavior was only ever intended in good humor to entertain colleagues on set and backstage.
For a minute, I thought you were going to say girth humor.
Yeah. Let's see here. With the benefit of hindsight, I understand that upset may have been caused by my exuberant behavior, and I have apologized for this previously. Since my apology in November 2008, my understanding and behavior has also changed. It also says here
Thank you for mentioning you already apologized for this, too. Yes.
It says here, earlier this week, a pre-recorded video featuring Mr. Barrowman's Captain Jack was removed from a forthcoming Doctor Who immersive theater show.
Yeah, I saw that one. Yeah.
Okay, so this is the thing. If you keep it in, there are going to be people that are going to holler and scream. And those people have listened to every episode of the Verity podcast. So you have to keep those people happy.
No, I don't. I have to keep anyone happy. Well, I don't think there's really crossover between Verity listeners and Doctor Who gives a fuckers.
Doctor Who gives a fuckers.
Or as I call them, cuckers.
Well, the difference is, of course, is that three middle-aged white guys, our opinions may not
jive with anything close to reality.
Yeah. And then, of course, we have Noel Clarke, who, according to, 20 women, he did inappropriate behavior, ranging from, Snapchats of his dick.
Yeah.
Pics, unsolicited dick pics, and one lady just said he touched her ass.
Yeah, and does anybody else feel like John Barrowman is kind of being scapegoated for Noel Clarke here?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, they both did very bad things.
I mean, the shit Noel Clarke did is, we're talking assault, basically. John Barrowman was just being fucking obnoxious.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't think John Barrowman, John Barrowman, I don't think had any ill intent. I think he was just being flamboyant. I think he was so excited about being in Doctor Who. I mean, maybe he was nervous, and maybe that's how he just, gets rid of, he just deals with this nervous energy. He whips his dick out.
I mean, Ted Bundy had his way to get rid of nervous energy, but that doesn't mean it was legal. But I do have a question. I don't remember. Okay, so when Noel Clarke told that story, there were two women on stage with him, Camille Couture
Yes.
and the lady from Boomtown,
Yes.
who was a Slovene.
Yes.
And I can't remember which episodes were Noel Clarke and John Barrowman in together.
They were in Boomtown.
Oh, they were. I did not remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, because they had like kind of the heist scene. Remember that?
Yes.
Where the doctor was playing with Slovene girl's teleport thing, and they were all like trying to fucking go in and get her, and they all did like the Scooby Doo. Okay, gang, split up. You know.
I don't remember that.
Yeah,
Not saying it didn't happen. Just say it.
That's where it happened.
And
I believe you.
Yeah. And they were also on Journey's End.
I was thinking the one where they got the truck to pull the fucking console off and let the heart of the TARDIS out.
That was Parting of the Ways.
Fuck. Yes, you're right. Okay. Yes, but they were both in
Like I
that
said.
too. Yes.
Right.
Three middle-aged men that can't remember every episode of Doctor. Three middle-aged men.
Well,
who
between
should
the three of us,
probably
we
be
did it.
working.
We did it at the end.
Yeah. So Noel Clarke, I don't know which behavior is more obnoxious. I think I'm going to say Noel Clarke. I did not.
More insidious, at least.
Yeah, more insidious, more personal almost, you could say. But I'm not.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I mean, there were intentional victims to what Noel Clarke did. You know, I don't think John Barrowman was. I mean, what he did was wrong. He shouldn't have done that.
And actually, I actually think that more of the blame should be laid on Russell T for allowing that to happen. He should have just put a stop to it right then and there, but he allowed it to continue. And to the point where Christopher Eccleston just
sent an
didn't
E-grip in to whack that thing with a stick or something. Just put it away. Put it away.
Yeah, exactly. So if anything, you know, I think Russell T, also be called out on the carpet. I mean, pulling that Torchwood audio, you know, a lot of people probably put a lot of time and effort and money to that, and that's, I mean,
it's a crime against Eve Miles, for fuck's sake.
I don't know what the fuck kind of world we live in where everybody that works for Torchwood, not everybody probably, but the actors probably at least that work for Torchwood Audio, they lose a gig. But if you brag about grabbing a pussy, you can be elected president. What the fucking fuck? You know, don't get me started.
Yeah.
Remember when good old days when like Hugh Grant slept with a hooker and it was like a thing for a week and then everybody forgot about it, you know?
Yeah.
And he's still working. But then again, he had consensual sex that he paid for. So I don't know. Probably not as egregious.
But at the end of the day, he still got excited and pulled his dick out.
Yeah, but it was only to like one person. It wasn't to like
the whole cast. 4 weddings and a funeral or something like that. 4 weddings, a funeral, and Hugh Grant's dick.
Well, here's something that should be considered in these things. On the set of Doctor Who at that time, we're taking for granted that the whole fucking thing happened, that this Noel Clarke story is 100% true. Mm-hmm. Was anybody really that fucking upset there? I mean, there's a lot of people who are hearing the story now and they're upset by it. And okay, I get it. You're upset, but you weren't there. John Barrowman didn't expose himself in a situation where he expected other people to even know it happened. This was something, I mean, we all do shit in front of, you know, loved ones, friends and shit that we wouldn't do in front of other people. And maybe in that setting, that was okay. And people giggled and were like, oh, God damn it.
Okay.
Away, you know?
Okay.
And if that's the case, then, you know, all these people are getting offended about some shit that didn't fucking happen to them. If everybody there was okay with John whipping his dick out, or at least not that bothered by it, then why should anybody else be?
I don't know. And you know what? The thing is that I don't know exactly how he did it, but I can't think of a context in which that's okay and that's not going to offend somebody.
Yeah.
Did he actually whip his dick out, or did he just unzip his pants? We don't know. There's not enough to know. There's just the story that Noel fucking Clarke told on stage in Dinosaur Ages. It's a very hard subject. No, pun intended.
I mean, I actually have been in situations where people jokingly pulled their dick out.
What?
Yeah. You haven't? You're gay, for fuck's sake.
I did go to a birthday party once where somebody was like, "Oh yeah, so and so has a big dick. If you ask him, he'll show you." But that was me. That's, if you ask him, he'll show you. Not you're sitting there fucking working, and all of a sudden somebody comes up with their dick out in their hand.
I have a friend who's female, and like one year she went to a local sci-fi convention, and she like stuffed a fake penis up her pants and had it like the tip of it sticking out the top of her pants, and like she would like once in a while just sort of like raise her shirt up and like startle people. Like anyone who would like try to hit on her, he would like raise that up.
That would be
Brilliant.
that's the John Barrowman cosplay. That right there.
Well, I can tell you guys that maybe I'll get canceled for this.
I think you already got canceled, Chris.
Yeah,
but
Yeah,
Fucking
if I
canceled.
haven't been fucking canceled, I don't know what to do. When I was in the Army, we had, in the barracks I lived in, a mooning war at one point. And it was a contest to see how many people in the barracks you could make look at your ass against their will. And one technique that I invented was bury your ass and walk into a room backwards. Because when you walk into a room, everybody turns around to see who just walked in, and there's my ass. One of my roommates' great tricks, and he was for the close talker ass show. Like, he liked to get his ass right to your face.
Oh God, no.
Like, would, like, you'd be sitting in a chair and he'd walk and he'd be like the tap your shoulder trick, and you'd turn around to see who it was, and there's Billy's ass.
No. Okay, this is reason number 173 why I've never joined the Army. Not acceptable. And I'm gay. No,
I know.
I don't want to smell
dude,
your ass.
I am telling you, the Army is gay as fuck. It's gay
That's the episode title right there. The Army is gay as fuck.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
No, that's going to go in the show notes, definitely.
Yeah, a lot of people might find it very inappropriate that we three middle-aged men are talking about this and are trying to be the gatekeepers on what's okay to do in cancel culture and what isn't. But I still have my opinions, though, and it's a podcast, and on a podcast, we have the honor of sharing our opinions.
Yes, we have a right to our shitty opinions.
Yeah, exactly. So, if you're going to okay. Is there, I think it was Chris, you said something about the statute of limitations. Mm-hmm. Is there a statute of limitations for what Noel Clarke did? I mean, let's suppose that it came out when he was 60 years old, that he did all this in his 20s. How would that affect his career?
Well, let's ask Bill Cosby.
Well, yeah, but that's like the extreme. Like, Bill Cosby is like 10. Okay, maybe Harvey Weinstein is like a 9.5 or a 9. Noel Clarke is like
okay, but you have to understand. I mean, the timing of this is a bit weird because he was basically awarded he was going to be awarded a BAFTA, which is basically the British equivalent of an Oscar, and there are these. Like, the women who came out which basically contacted the organization that does the BAFTA. Like, look, if you do this, it's not like a conceded effort, but you might want to rethink this. But then they did reward it, and then this came out, and then they basically rescinded the BAFTA and they kicked them out of the organization. But I can understand. Why didn't they say anything then? Well, because they're stigmatized, and because for whatever fear that you have, and it's like, am I the only one? Well, it turned out there's not. And we had initially hadn't heard anything that had happened in the Doctor Who set, but it had come out recently that I think like a costume assistant was basically had some really lewd comments said to her regarding like her long hair and how it's like the perfect length for him to like tug on while he's coming at her from behind.
Yeah, that is so gross.
That's a little over the top there.
That's really fucking gross. That is so. Oh man.
I think Noel Clarke is pretty much close to Harvey Weinstein levels of depravity. There's a story that he allegedly, like, he was auditioning an actress and made her audition in the nude, and
What?
said, yeah, and
Okay,
said,
he's at a 6 now. Okay.
and said that it wasn't going to be filmed, but it was filmed.
Oh my God. Okay, I did not know about this. Okay, because the stories that I read, politely didn't talk about. Yeah, that is really bad. That's like.
Yeah, he's basically from all the stories, he's basically a sexual predator.
Oh, yeah.
I did not. I was not privy to those examples, but right or wrong, I think what Barrowman was doing was at least meant to be good-natured, camaraderie, humor shit. He wasn't trying to fucking assault anybody. He may have offended some people and been out of line. Definitely.
Yes.
But on the other hand, Noel Clarke, I think, was, this shit's not right. What he's doing, like, this was not well-intentioned shit done in jest. He wasn't trying to just be funny or entertaining. He was being a straight-up fucking predator.
Yeah, that I agree. The article that I read was they just mentioned sending a dick pic, and one lady said he touched her butt. And I'm like, okay, that's, not normal, but yeah.
There's more detail to that story.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing about Barrowman only came to light because someone remembered that panel in Chicago TARDIS and tweeted a video link to it. And you have to wonder what their intention was.
It was probably one of our fans, and this is all our fucking fault.
Yeah. They heard our podcast that recorded
like 3 years ago.
No, it wasn't that long ago. It was. I think it was like last October when we recorded that one.
We definitely scooped the fuck out of this.
We did, and we didn't get any fucking plaudits for it, man.
None.
Nothing. No calls from the Associated Press or anything, And
at least a couple of us were even in the room for that. So you'd think somebody'd call and ask, hey, were you there when Noel Clarke told this fucking crazy story? Yeah.
That's okay. We were there first.
Yeah, whatever. Y'all go along with the news cycle and just let us fucking die here.
You know what this makes me think, though? Throughout all the years that people have been making movies and TV shows, I mean, Alfred Hitchcock, for instance, he's been long dead, and he did all kinds of fucking weird shit, and his wife even knew about it and didn't do anything to stop him. But, I mean, how many other men in Hollywood and TV land have done this? It must be a fucking lot. Actually, wait, that brings me to the fact, at Gallifrey, right after the Me Too, #MeToo movement started, and by the way, when that thing started, it went on fire. And I know two people whose lives were affected by it. One quite deservedly, and the other maybe not a little so. But I remember I had friends that are fucking saying #MeToo. And I'm like, Eric, somebody grabbing your ass in a bar doesn't count as a Me Too moment, okay? Because, if that is the case, then I could fucking do Me Too, a million times.
Yeah.
At Gallifrey, the big convention in Los Angeles, they had a panel of women only. And I can't remember what the point of the panel was. It certainly wasn't telling Me Too stories. And, of course, it was moderated by Deb Stanish of the Verity podcast. I actually shouldn't make fun of the Verity. I like Deb very much. Verity.
I mean, it's a good podcast. I haven't listened to it for quite a while. It deserves all the plaudits that it gets.
Indeed, yeah, and it just turned into a big Me Too rap session where each woman on the panel told a Me Too story. And who was the actress that played Zoe?
That was
Wendy Padbury.
Wendy Padbury. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it was her. She had a singing gig, and the guy who was playing the piano asked her to come into the other room with him, or to him. He was sitting in the other room. He called her into the room. She walked up to him. He's sitting there at the piano with his dick out. Okay, like he thought she was gonna go down on him or something. And I'm like, oh God, that's so gross. And I told Steve this story about how this panel at Gallifrey turned into this, Me Too story thing. You know what Steve said? He made an excellent. He goes, well, I'm glad my kids weren't there. And I thought, my God, you're right. Is that a topic that's appropriate for, say, an 11-year-old girl?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. I mean, I think they didn't. It sounds like they didn't intend it to be two panel, but it just sort of spontaneously happened. It's like, oh my God, that story's horrible. I've got stories. You want to hear stories? I got your stories right here, motherfucker. And it just sort of, I think it just sort of happened. It was a happening. I mostly, I think it was very positive that all these women felt comfortable. I mean, they basically drawn the strength from each other on that stage. And it's like, God damn it, we're just going to talk about this. And, if you've got a kid and if you don't feel comfortable, there's the exit.
Yeah.
I think I would have, I have a little 8-year-old daughter currently. I think if I walked into that panel with her with me, and the last time I took her to a convention, she was 6 months old, but I have taken her to a convention. But if I walked into one with her and they started doing that, honestly, I would go with her comfort level. Like, I wouldn't say, as soon as they started talking about, well, this is what happened to me, I wouldn't, snatch her up and run out of the room. But if she started feeling uncomfortable, and I've kind of been in situations not quite that severe, but I just go with her comfort level. If she feels like she's ready to deal with this, okay, yeah, sit here. You're gonna have to find out about this shit anyways.
Okay, well, here's the question then. I mean, if she were with you in that Noel Clarke panel, would you have taken her out of the room?
Yeah. I mean, it kind of happened so fast, I don't think I would have really had, by the time I decided that, the damage would probably be done.
But she may not even get it. I mean, I don't know her.
It's just some funny-looking bloke there ponding his microphone.
Yeah.
I mean, she's old. She's super smart for her kid her age, and she would have got all the references.
Okay.
She would have understood what was physically happening, if not why it happened or whatever. But yeah, I don't think if she'd been there with me, I would have even had time to, because when he told this story, like I said, I wasn't in the room. I'd seen the video several times before it was cool, but
yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, it was sort of like everyone was sort of caught up in the comedic moment of it, but it's like, oh my God! I mean, fucking Steven Shapansky was moderating that panel, and
let's cancel fucking Shapansky.
Well, no, I'm not going to go that far, but I mean, maybe he should have maybe we should change the subject now because this is a family-oriented convention here.
He did have that power, and he should have exercised it, but I think that he was a little bit overwhelmed by the crowd laughing, and he was probably high on that wave.
He was probably shocked. I mean, he was probably too caught up in this.
Probably sniffing his own farts out of his shit.
Yeah, he was not shocked. I don't think he was shocked. I mean, this story, I
would have been like, steady on, Noel, steady on here. Okay, there are children. Think of the children here,
I guess that's true. He doesn't have any kids, so he doesn't think about that way.
Also, I kind of feel like at a convention, my personal feelings is it seems like most of them are roughly a PG-13.
Yeah.
I mean, if you take your kids into this situation, it's kind of on you. It's like, if your kids end up hearing some backstage stories that they probably shouldn't have heard, it's kind of on you for bringing them, because I feel like there's situations where it's if you bring your kids, it's at your own risk.
Yeah, that's a legal defense. It's called acceptance of the risk. If you go to a club and they have a mosh pit and you get up there and you jump into the crowd expecting that they're going to catch you,
and you get punched instead.
You pretty much, you can't turn around and sue the club. Fun fact, I went to the school with the guy whose brother actually put an end to moshing forever because he got hurt really bad, Peter Mazio. Here's a question for both of you, because we're all podcasters. The very first Gallifrey that I went to, a gentleman named Andre, we had a podcasting panel where there were like 10 of us on the panel. which is far too many podcasters. And Steven Shapansky and Louis Trapani basically hijacked the whole fucking thing.
Of course.
But a gentleman named Andre stood up and he asked a question. He said, "What's the deal with Doctor Who podcasters and cats? Why do you all have cats?"
Because smart fucking people love cats. I mean, what the fuck? That is such a stupid
Because
question.
you can train a cat to shit in a box and not have to take it outside.
No, you don't even have to train a cat to shit in a box. You just have to give them a fucking box and they know what to do with it.
That's amazing. That wizardry I just don't understand. How a little kitten, here's the litter box, and then it will shit in that box forever.
Yep. And they'll just look at it and go, yeah, I know what that's for.
Yeah, people with dogs, they wish they had a box their dog to shit in. Could shit in.
Dude, I had a dog that was 14 years old and was still had questions about where to shit.
Yeah, they get so neurotic about it too.
Yeah.
I do have this question though. We all have cats. Chris, I don't know how many you have. JB, you have 2, right?
Yes.
You both have 2? Okay. I have 4. I used to have 5.
Overcompensating much?
I'm jealous of him. I would like to.
No, 2's my limit. 2's my fucking limit.
Well, I think 4 is my limit. When another one dies, we'll get another one. But unless something falls in our
I'm not even I like cats more than people. I'm not even going to apologize for that.
They're so fucking cool. I mean, they're just cool. Like, and they attach onto one person. We have cats that like me more, or we have cats that like Tom more. And I love that.
Penny is a mama cat. Rosie is a daddy cat.
Yeah, exactly.
I think our cats, they're attached to both of us. I mean, it's funny because Islington will want his cuddles for me in the morning. And then, like, I'm at work, I'm in my room, working from home, and then at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Coraline, who's the girl kitty, she'll reach up to the doorknob and try to open my door, and she has the tiniest little meow.
Oh yeah, that one that they
Mm-hmm. They know how to grab your heartstrings and go.
Oh yeah, I mean basically I saw something someone tweeted about, I don't know if this is a scientific fact, but like cats have basically heard babies, like human babies, crying and can imitate it, and that they know that that's what is going to get our attention.
They had a meeting about that a long time ago. And they're like, okay, we want to imitate babies. Sorry,
I have an actual theory to float that might explain the Doctor Who guy cat thing. People who I think, and I'm saying this because I'm definitely coming from this angle, I think a lot of people who are into Doctor Who, and especially old Doctor Who, tend to have anxiety problems. And that's why they get into old shows, because people with anxiety problems like to watch shit they've seen before. Being in a fandom gives you an excuse to keep going over the same show again and again, because there's no fucking surprises. And if you have an anxiety problem, you don't want a lot of surprises. Another thing that people with anxiety problems like is cats, because cats can be very affectionate. They can be entertaining and unpredictable, while in certain ways still being very predictable. Like you said, with the mom and dad, cats always have their favorite person, and you know what to expect from the cat. And the cat is very independent and doesn't expect much from you, and that really appeals to someone with a fucking anxiety problem. So basically it's a lot of people that are involved in Doctor Who fandom have a fucking anxiety problem, and Doctor Who and cats are really fucking attractive to people with anxiety.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that, and I'm going to concur. Yeah, I'll concur. Because I'll tell you, when we were working in quarantine, working from home, which I loved at first, after a while I started just playing, not really watching it, but just playing Doctor Who in the background, and it made the day go by so much faster. I could still do it now with my phone, but my phone batteries will go out so quickly, because Pluto, you guys know about Pluto?
Oh, yeah.
I go on all the time.
Yeah, they have the classic Doctor Who channel where they play constantly the same Tom Baker and Peter Davison episodes all the time.
With commercials.
Well, that's fine. It's free.
No, it's not. You should not have to deal with commercials while watching Doctor Who.
JB, no,
it's just
free.
It's capitalism, dude. They gotta pay the bill.
Mean, if they're not like trying to raise money for the PBS station and giving you a fucking tote bag, then no, I'm sorry, it's not allowed.
I disagree wholeheartedly. I'm not paying for it, so commercials are okay.
Yeah, I don't like it, but I accept their presence.
And they're not on a lot. I mean, I think 1 half-hour Doctor Who episode or 22-minute Doctor Who episode would maybe have 2 commercials, maybe 3. I don't remember. And it's only 1 commercial. I mean, come on, guys. We grew up watching commercials with everything that we watched on TV.
But not on Doctor Who.
I will
not
bitch
on
about.
PBS.
I will bitch about this with the commercials on the Doctor Who on Pluto. They don't fucking edit them into spots where it makes sense. Like, they will just set a timer, like, at 15 minutes into this episode, regardless of what fucking is happening, put a commercial.
Yeah.
And, like, mid-line, they'll fucking drop off into a fucking commercial. That's irritating. I wish, and you know, it's an old show. There are spots in there that they fucking pre-made for fucking putting in shit like that. Use them, or just find a fucking edit between scenes.
Like, hey, just wait till the end of the fucking scene and then cut. You know, don't cut in the middle of a fucking, you know, someone's.
It's obviously just set on an automated timer. You know, at fucking 12 minutes and 24 minutes, put a fucking commercial. Regardless of what happens, that's fucking irritating. But they do at least seem to do the courtesy of, you know, they at least back it up a couple seconds when it comes back, so that you're not completely fucking jizzed on that.
My podcast co-host Eric told me about that, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, they just stream it all 24/7. I don't think they do it. I don't think they do it 24/7, but
yes, they do.
Yeah,
they do.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm like, okay. And then I downloaded the app, and I'm like, oh my god, what sorcery is this?
Yeah.
And they even have movies.
Yep.
And I remember the day after I found this out, I had to go to a meeting with a client in which the client and I spent quite a long time alone in a room together. I know that sounds, but trust me. And I explained to her, you know, I found this Pluto thing. So if you're traveling a lot, as we do, did, this is pre-pandemic, she's like, oh my God, this is so cool. I can't wait to show this to my daughters. Because they've got, I mean, listeners, check this out if you have not heard about this before. Pluto TV has got, I think, probably 150 channels of fucking everything. I mean, there's a channel that just streams forensic files. There's a channel that just streams Wipeout. I shit you not. That exists. There is a channel that 24/7 streams cat videos. I did not know this.
Yeah, my kids love the cat video one, by the way.
And they also have movies on demand.
Mm-hmm.
There's another one called Tubi, Tubi.
Yeah.
They just do movies, but they've got, like, if you want to see, some of them are real, most of them are real crap, but it's still free and it's still amazing.
Yeah.
It just, and are you guys, when we talk about anxiety and cats and all that, when you go to Netflix and you're like, I don't know what I want to watch, do you spend like 45 minutes just scrolling through titles?
Yes.
Not that long. Maybe 10 minutes. Just, it's like I scroll through like all the new releases, which have been like fucking out for like months on end. It's like, this is not new.
For 2 hours straight, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, usually I put like an old episode of Flash on, or sometimes I'll put a Doctor Who on. I actually put on Horror Frank Rock the other night, and I end up like falling asleep like in the middle of like episode 1. I'm like already like falling asleep.
I even get the thing, if I decide, like on the rare occasions I get the TV to myself and I decide I'm going to watch a fucking Doctor Who, I get anxiety about deciding which fucking one I'm going to watch. Because I have, in some way or another, access to pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll spend 30 minutes just trying to decide which fucking episode I want. But now I've gotten to the point where, like, if the kids and the wife go to do something and I'm at home by myself, I will do like Sean and just put something on the TV to have in the background that I'm not necessarily going to pay attention to. Mm-hmm. And what I usually do now is I'll throw it on Pluto and throw it on the Doctor Who channel, and I don't even give a fuck what episode it is. It's just Doctor Who's playing in the background, and that's like fucking major fucking comfort sauce. Like, I'm good with this.
This is what you do. And I learned this in therapy because I told my therapist that, I'm extremely anxious. I feel extremely overwhelmed at work. This is no longer the case. I don't know if it's because we have more staff at work or that I'm on medication, but do a spreadsheet, an Excel spreadsheet of all the Doctor Who episodes. It could be just all classic and new Who, or just classic or just new Who. I suspect you'd probably just do classic. And put them all there, and then get a random number generator on your phone and use that to determine which Doctor Who episode you're going to watch. I use this method for 2 of my 3 podcasts about what we're going to watch next. And it works fabulously.
Actually, there should be a function on your Excel spreadsheet that you can actually do a random function.
I was thinking that.
I don't think there.
Yes, there is.
There is.
There is, because I took an Excel course during my period of unemployment, and yes, there is a random function that you can. You basically like choose a range of cells, and then you have the formula there, and then you just go over the cell that it's in. You hit enter, and it'll randomly pick from that list. So, yeah, you can totally set that up on a spreadsheet.
I think the way Sean said it's probably simpler.
I'm just going to say, though, maybe
yours is more eloquent, but
the random number generator that I use seems to be extremely partial to the Leisure Hive because of all the Doctor Who.
Oh, my God.
I think I watched that yesterday.
I've done this maybe 5 times, and 2 or 3 times it was the Leisure Hive. And
that's not very fucking random.
That's actually kind of evidence that it's truly at random.
How is that?
Because the law of large numbers, people expect that because something is unlikely, it will only happen once every billion times. But probability distributions are deceptively uniform. Like you would think that because something can only happen 1 in a million times, if you watch it 1 million times, it'll only happen once. That's not true. That's kind of the assumption.
Right.
And that's the mathematical basis for it. But in reality, if you watch it 1 million times, it might happen 5 times, and 4 of them are right next to each other.
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. That does fucking happen. And it doesn't defy the fucking probabilities at all. That's the weird thing about it. It's hard to fucking explain. They programmed, I think it was iPhones, for example, had to go in and put a govern on the random setting on the music players because initially the way they set them up, they were actually legitimately fully random. And people would complain because they're like, well, I put it on random and I heard the Knicks fucking 3 times out of 5 songs, or the Knack 3 times out of 5 songs. And it's like, well, yeah, it's like, that can happen. It's random. That's the thing. If it's random shit happens, and that means you might hear the same song. I remember one time when I was a kid, we had a 5-disc changer, and we put The Descendants in for 1 disc.
Oh, and, I love that.
And then we had 4 other discs. I can't remember what they were.
I love those old-timey disc changers. They were like a mini jukebox. They were so cool.
I loved them too. Yeah, you put discs in, hit random, and just deal with what happens. I wish they had a setting on Spotify for that, like a 5 disc changer setting. Pick 5 albums and we'll just fuck with them. This one 30-second clip that was like a between song clip called Burrito Central or something like that, and it was like, welcome to Whale Burger. Would you like whale sperm with that? Yeah, blah 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 blah, and it fucking does a weird guitar riff, and then it goes into the next song. It played 3 times in a row, back to back, on random, and that was random. That can happen. It's the odds of that happening are really fucking small, but the odds of everything that happens have shit going random are really fucking small. And Apple and all this shit actually had to go in and change the program that if Burrito Central played just now, it would decrease the likelihood of it playing again. But if it was truly random, the likelihood of it playing a second time is just as likely as it was the first time it played. But if you change it and say, don't repeat songs, well, you change the odds.
Yes.
The odds of the next song being that song are now 0. The odds of that song being something else are something different depending on how many other songs there were to begin with.
Right.
That's not truly
So
random.
semantically, it's not random.
To call it random from a statistical standpoint would be incorrect. It's not random. It's actually a function.
Wow,
It's
this is
all-
probably the most highbrow we've ever
Yeah.
gotten on this podcast.
Sorry.
As they said in Shaun of the Dead, it's all random.
Yeah.
My randomizer likes to choose Leisure Hive, and I never want to watch Leisure Hive again. I kind of liked it when I first saw it because it looked different, but now I just tired of it.
It's sort of a weird story.
And I've never seen that lady's necklace change, as Romana said. No, Romana said. I didn't see that change. I've looked over it again and again, and I don't see the necklace.
My Ramona.
Romana. Yeah.
My
We-
Ramona.
We have a friend named Ramona, and she came to a party that we were, and I got really drunk, and I just kept calling her Romana, like not on purpose. And like, Sean, it's Ramona. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm drunk.
It's either Ramona or Fred.
I was gonna say you should have just started calling her Fred and see who got the joke. Because they're your people.
I don't know what that means.
You
Why am I
My
laughing?
God, Sean, I'm taking away your Doctor Who card.
don't know the Fred joke
No.
from fucking
Sean, I am disappointed.
from first Romana. Shit, JB, what's the episode?
operation?
Ribos, yeah.
Ebos.
Yeah. When Romana tells him her name's Romana Varatinalunda, and he says something like, well, why don't we just call you Fred for short?
Oh, I remember that. Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
And then, like, I think once later in the episode, he actually calls her Fred or something like that. Like, there's a little callback to it later.
Can I ask you guys a question? I have two questions. One's Doctor Who related. I'll start with that one. Out of all, 6 Key to Time stories, what's your favorite?
So we got Ribos, Stones of Blood, Armageddon Factor. What are the other ones?
Pirate
Planet.
Android
that's
to Terra,
fine.
and Power of Kroll.
Pirate Planet, hands down. Love that episode.
I concur. Pirate Planet.
It's a toss-up between that one and Rebos, I think. Pirate Planet.
Ribos, I always said Ribos, but Rebos, yeah.
Yeah.
Ribos is a very close second.
Yeah. I think the Pirate Planet. The one thing I think I have about the Pirate Planet is that they basically wrapped up the story almost like in the last minute, because he just basically the Doctor comes in, says a lot of technobabble, and then
they blow it up.
and then they fucking blow it up, Yeah. And that wasn't really that great a resolution. I think there's like, oh fuck, we only got 2 minutes left of this thing. We got to end this now.
We spent too much time on dialogue. Shit.
I actually agree with you both. I love the Pirate Planet. I think it's a lot of fun. I actually don't even mind Power of Kroll, but that's not going to be in the top. I can't stand the Armageddon Factor. It's too long.
Armageddon Factor is the weakest story of the lot. It's either that or Stones of Blood.
I like Stones of Blood for its horror factor. I don't like the last episode. The scene where the Stones kill that couple, that is absolutely frightening. That is man.
Yeah.
Woo, wow. I don't even know how, they went there. But for me, even though I do like Pirate Planet the most, probably, I have to give Rebos Operation a lot of props, because there's not a lot that goes on in that episode. I mean, you could sum her up.
A lot of people's like sitting around talking.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's great anyway. It's a great
good,
script.
But it's good dialogue.
Yeah.
It's Robert Holmes at the peak,
Yeah, what's the old philosopher that's fucking, what's his name?
Binro the Heretic.
Binro the Heretic. I mean, Binro the Heretic, if nothing else, makes that fucking episode.
No, I don't know.
I love Binro the Heretic.
It's what everybody says, and I don't get it, but okay.
Because the whole shit, it's like, he's a fucking heretic because he has this harebrained scheme about, what the rest of the universe is like, and he gets caught up in this fucking adventure that's way beyond him, but it completely validates his entire fucking existence as a heretic, because they're literally proving all his shit.
Okay.
Just
All right. Yeah, you're right.
they're doing his thing, and it's
only
like,
to kill him off, like in episode 4.
and only to kill him off eventually.
I mean, if this were the modern series, we would have the Murray Girl music swelling in the background, and he would probably get in the TARDIS, and he would get in the fucking TARDIS, and he would probably like drop him off somewhere.
Right? Yeah. No, Benro was a really fucking heartbreaking character in that episode, much more so than some people like JB's acknowledging. Like in the new one, it's like they didn't hand you the emotional cue; they actually just fucking developed the character.
Mm.
I think Benro has a lot more character development than you usually see from a periphery character in a story, modern or classic. And
I would go as far as the last 3 companions we've had.
right?
My favorite is probably the villain. He's such a nasty piece of shit. He's like the king in The Princess Bride.
It's really easy to
The
fucking
Graf
hate him.
Vindicay, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really easy to hate him. It doesn't take much effort at all.
Yeah. But you love hating him so much. I
Yeah.
mean, he just licks it up, you know.
Yep.
And the other one is the 2 con men, especially the older guy, the big older guy.
Yeah.
My
Who
Scringstone.
Yeah. That actor is just having so much fun being Doctor Who.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
And Tom Baker, you can just tell Tom Baker was really enjoying acting not against him, but basically, you know, trading lines with this guy. You know, I mean, he's not really.
He was a worthy adversary, basically.
He was a worthy adversary and a worthy actor to be working with Tom.
Yeah. But having said all that, I still really like the Pirate Planet the most out of all those stories, because it is another story where they're doing a lot of running up and down corridors, and there's this really, maybe I do like Rebus Operation better, but there's this milksop character who's one of the, what is that cult? It's not really a cult, but the psychic people.
They're not the Mennonites. There's something. It's something like the Mennonites.
Oh yeah. Oh shit, I can't remember either.
But it's got these, you know, such delicious moments when, you know, like when they make Tom Baker walk the plank, when you realize that, you know, the true villain is actually the nurse and not the captain. He's just a big blowabout. And also Mr. Fibuli looks exactly like my allergist that I had as a kid, Dr. Rosenberg. And I remember playing it. Fibuli! Yeah. And I remember watching it, and I had it playing in the background, and my mom came upstairs to use my computer. I'm like, Ma, look, it's Dr. Rosenberg. She's like, oh, my God, it is. And there's something so hokey and so precious about the fight between K9 and that stupid
the robot parrot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so out there. You know, it's just so cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's so cool.
That
And the
was
idea that they're
that was
shrinking
like the
planets.
world's first Pokemon fight, right there.
Yeah,
Even do
exactly,
it
exactly. And, you know, I love the idea of the doctor keeps saying there's something very, very wrong here, and I love the idea that at the end they find out that this guy has just been capturing planets and shrinking them down.
to
So
make a
clever.
little fucking engine thing. you know.
Yeah, it's a really, really clever story.
It's very fucking Douglas Adams. It is probably the most Douglas Adams Doctor Who story, and I am unapologetically a Douglas Adams fan. And yeah, I'm here for it. I'm here for the fucking weird. I mean, Douglas Adams was the absolute god of technobabble. He could take some complete bullshit and wrap it around in a conversation between 2 fucking characters in a witty banter and make it sound completely logically believable to the point where but he'll take an absurd concept like shrinking planets down to make a fucking weird engine that has to be perfectly balanced. One of them, by the way, just happens to be the key to time and the planet that you were on, or at least you thought you were, but it was being shrunk by this big fucking TARDIS thing. And it's like, he'll take something that fucking absurd and explain it in such a way that's actually comical and on some certain logical level of your brain, no matter how hard you try, you can't go, well, that's just stupid. It doesn't work. Because I can't fucking explain to you why it doesn't work. But probably doesn't work. Fuck it. Maybe it works.
You know,
it worked.
It's mind bending like that, or maybe it's just I'm simple minded.
Well, certainly certainly Tom Baker and Lala Ward really enjoyed working on Douglas's story. I mean, Lala Ward became a very good and close friend to Douglas Adams, and he introduced her to her next husband, Richard Dawkins.
Okay, I have another question. I have question number 2. This is not Doctor Who related whatsoever. This is cat related. So, and also this is also a PSA. So JB, don't edit this out.
Okay.
Yeah, well, it's about cats, so maybe it is Doctor Who. Doctor Who, Doctor. Oh my God! Set myself on the heart. I just called him Doctor Who. The Doctor did have a cat in some of the novels, by the way.
Pixel, right?
I don't remember what his name was, but
I think his name was Pixel because I have a friend who is not even remotely a Doctor Who fan who had a cat named Pixel.
Really? Maybe he named it after that horrible Adam Sandler movie.
But it was the New Adventures. He was actually featured in not featured, but he was in Human Nature was where he picked him up.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah.
I just knew him from the Infinity Doctors.
Like, the cat just gets mentioned in a couple of other adventures, and then, like, after a few, they just fucking drop it. Like, to this day, I don't know whatever fucking happened to that cat, but
he got locked into the storage hold, and 3 million years later came out, evolved into a Felis sapiens, and is, like, dressed up like James Brown and goes, wow! This is mine. This is mine. All of this is mine, except for that bit. I don't want that bit, but all of this is mine.
I'm gonna get you this.
Man, this has been a good day. I've ate 6 times, I said 7 times, and I made a lot of things mine. Tomorrow, I'm going to see if I can have sex with something.
You know, Red Dwarf is still on, dude.
I know those guys are fucking old now.
Yeah, and they're still making goddamn Red Dwarf.
I stopped after like the 8th season. I just no more. I think all shows have a shelf life.
Every now and then I go back and pick it up.
Way past their shelf.
I seriously, okay, this is my recommendation to the world for fucking Red Dwarf. Do yourself a favor and watch the first 2 seasons.
Yes.
You can stop after that.
Yes.
If you like it, keep going.
Go to season 5.
After the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I would say stop after season 5.
Yeah.
But where can we watch Red Dwarf?
That's a good question.
It's on BritBox.
Okay. Do you both have BritBox?
I don't. I have season 1 on DVD.
Okay.
I've been looking.
I would say if you like Doctor Who and Red Dwarf alone, would justify the cost of BritBox.
Okay. I have to ask you this. I have a very important question, and it relates to cats, which relates to Doctor Who podcasters, so it's relevant.
Yes.
So according to Jackson Galaxy, you should have the number of litter boxes in your home should equal your cats, the number of cats you have, plus 1, which means that I should have 5 litter boxes in my home. And we don't have any fucking space. We just have 2. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering how you guys do it. And I have a story to tell about this.
Yeah, we have 2 cats and we have 2 boxes. One of them is in the bathroom and the other one is in Darlene's office, which has no door. It is my job to do the scooping in the morning. But yeah, we just have the 2 because basically we only have room for 2. I mean, we wouldn't want to put a box anywhere else in the apartment. I mean, the bathroom is pretty much out of the way, and like the corner of Darlene's office is kind of out of the way, and they usually use that one at night.
Chris,
2 cats, 1 cup. We have we've got 2 cats. We have 1 litter box in the basement, which both use, which is emptied daily. It's supposed to be done by the kids. Most of the time, it probably ends up being the wife. I am exempted from it because I actually have pretty significant asthma. So I am not. I have a lot of duties around the house. I'm not shirking. I assure you. I am excused from litter box duty. So
Okay.
I mostly leave that to the wife and kids, but we only have one litter box, and it seems to get the job done.
Yeah. I don't get this thing about, having a number of litter boxes equal to your cats plus one, because we have 2 litter boxes and we have 4 cats, and for some reason, every now and then, they all want to shit in one box and leave the other one alone.
Because they're cats.
And then 2 days
Yeah.
later, they shit in the other box and leave the other box alone. And I don't understand this. And one of them, I don't know who it is. I suspect it's Walter, but doesn't even cover up his shit because he's like, fuck you. I'm the alpha male.
Right?
I will not cover up my shit. So
That's your job, human.
Yeah. Well, Coraline sometimes has aiming problems, and she'll miss the box, and then she'll paw on the floor trying to bury the shit that's on the floor.
It's like, girl, that ain't no grain. You ain't gonna. We'll pick that up. Don't worry about it. We'll pick it up.
Yeah.
We have one cat, Penny, tabby calico mix. We say she's an impressionist painting of a cat, which is or an impressionist painting of a tabby. She is beautifully behaved. She eats when, where, and what she's supposed to eat. She shits where she's supposed to shit. Her other cat, naturally the one that I picked out, Rose. Excuse me. I'm doing a Sean. We refer to her as the cat coon. We think she may be half raccoon because she fights with whatever in the house. Like, you put a plant in front of her, she fights it. You put a breadstick in front of her, she fights with it. It's what she does. And she shits in a box. It's like she'll break shit, rip up curtains, whatever, destroy the house, but she'll shit in a box. She has no issues with shitting in a box. And
I might be destructive, but I've got fucking standards here.
Right? Yeah. She's a cat. She has a minimum. She'll destroy the world, but she's not going to do it by shitting all over.
Right. Yeah. Coraline likes to bite cardboard. She'll leave she'll just bite it and spit it out, bite it and spit it out.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
Yeah, and she also likes to scratch on the bed skirt and wakes Darlene up at 5 a.m. doing that.
You have a Coraline now?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Coraline, and the boy is Islington, named after the angel Islington.
Yeah, I knew about Islington. I tried to talk Tori when we had our first kid, River. One of my initial suggestions for a name was Coraline, from the Neil Gaiman novel,
right,
and movie of the same name. But she didn't want to do that because she figured she would have the same problem as the kid has in the movie of everybody. Oh, you mean Caroline? No, it's fucking Coraline. We misspelled it on purpose, but. But yeah, she didn't want to confuse our kid, so we gave her a boy's name instead. So,
well, no, because we have the insufferable character played by Alex Kingston on Doctor Who,
right.
That I'm sure will be appearing with Christopher Eccleston soon on a Big Finish story near you.
That sounds shockingly like a story that used to be a John Barrowman story.
Cat food.